capital gains tax did not increase from 10% to 30%. I'll take that again. Capital gains tax rates did not increase from 10% to 30%. Happy New Month. Welcome to the month of December, the very last month of the year. This is Oladejo Adeyemi, and this is Insight with Oladejo.
I've heard a lot of people, say, oh, capital gains tax has increased. Capital gains tax has increased from 10% from 1st of January 2026. It has now become 30%. How valid is this thing that they are saying? Let's look at what the law says. Because on this channel, we focus on the facts and not the myth. Now, if you go to section 196 of the Nigeria Tax Act, you would see
that there are a lot of acts that have been repealed, and the Capital Gains Tax Act is one of those acts that have been repealed in the law. What that means is that the current regime no longer gives attention to income categorization. Now, what you would see in the law, rather, is that the types of income that should be taxed, or profits, or gains, have now been specified. So rather than say capital gains tax has increased from 10% to 30%, capital gains tax has been abolished, has been repealed, because the act itself has been repealed. What has happened is that Nigerians no longer categorize income by their nature. So what the law says under section 4 is then that profits or gains from disposal of properties or fixed assets would be liable to tax. It will be chargeable to tax. So if you are an individual and you have earned capital gains, because it is a gain that is of a capital nature, you will tax that capital gain under your taxing regime as an individual, the tax rate that applies to you. And that rate, if you have followed this channel long enough, is not 30% as an individual. It would have to follow through the graduated scale that we have dealt with in the past. If you haven't watched that particular video, you can go find it in my channel. You would see where we spoke about payee. Now, if you are a company and you have earned capital gains, since the law is interested in taxing capital gains, it is then going to be taxed under your own taxing regime. Now, the rate that applies to company, currently, there are provisions in the law that permits that the rate can be varied, by an order. But currently, the rate is 30%. That 30% would apply to you. So essentially, capital gains tax did not increase from 10% to 30%. If you hear anybody say that, that is completely not true. There is nowhere in the new tax law where you are going to see that capital gains tax has increased, capital gains tax rate increased from 10% to 30%. So anytime you hear anybody say that, please correct the person. Capital gains tax did not increase from 10%. The rate of it did not increase from 10% to 30%. What rather changed is the fact that we no longer categorize income by the nature of the income, whether it's trading income or it's capital income. Income is income. Gains are gains. And if you have earned profits, you have earned income, you have earned gains as a person, you will tax those things under your taxing regime. And if you have earned income or profit or gains as a company, you will tax those incomes, gains, or profits under your taxing regime at the rate that applies to you. I hope this gives you some clarity. Because you are following this channel, do not be part of the people that are confused, saying what is not correct. Till I come your way again next time, I remain Oladejo Adeyemi, and this is Insight with Oladejo. Bye for now.